maintenance with a gun. That's too funny. Just a few more, y'all. We're all in. Now, anybody needs to sit down. There is 2 chairs over here.
Definitely really
I need boys to feel good in here. All right. What we just came in would have originally been the back of the hotel. What is now the back of the hotel would have been the front because it faces the river. So it's completely turned around from the way that it used to be used. In fact, the original entrance of the hotel was actually on that corner where room, I don't know what room it is now. It used to be room 20. It used to be room 22, but it's the one on the very end there on the right. That was actually the main entrance into the hotel. Now, this has been built actually in 1850 as a cotton warehouse. It's been a hotel since 1861. Back in the 1870s, a portion of the building was known as the Crystal Palace. Now, I actually managed this hotel back in the 1990s for a couple from the Houston area, and there was an original deed and a lease that they had a copy of at that time that actually talked about the items that were in there, how many tables, how many chairs, how many beer mugs, everything was listed. But it cracked me up because it also stated on this paperwork that under no uncertain terms were the women that worked in the saloon allowed to use the hotel entrance. They all had to use a separate entrance that would go directly upstairs to the saloon because they didn't want the reputation of the hotel soiled in any way. So it's pretty funny the stuff that we come across. Now, when you go to walk around on your own and you go to the staircase to go upstairs, on each staircase, it actually lists a year and other businesses that were actually here in the hotel. I can tell you that the ghost stories here go back a very long way. This isn't something new that's just popped up in the popularity of ghost stories. Ghost stories here go all the way back to the 1800s.
I'm so
And
sorry.
I really wish that I would have thought to have recorded some of the old timers that would tell me stories. I would just write it down on a piece of paper, stick it in a file. But it's amazing, some of the history that they gave me, just, sharing their stories here. They used to talk about how they'd have big dances down here in the early 1900s. So this was the place to go.
Oh, I'm
on
waving
Saturday
to
nights.
them, so I
But
don't.
the people that own it now bought it about 5 years ago. And as you can tell by looking around, they brought in a very unique, eccentric collection of antiques and oddities, y'all. There is stuff everywhere. Now, there are what I call normal rooms still in the building too, but they also have theme rooms. Now, most of the theme rooms are upstairs. You have the doll room, the mirror room, the owl room, the Bigfoot room, the oddity room, the clock
Bigfoot.
room. Kind of get you an idea of what I'm aiming at here. And all of the room numbers were changed when they bought it, except for one. They also added a room 13, which we never had. They added a room 00, which we never had. But room 19 has always been one of the more talked about rooms. That is upstairs, the very end of the hall on the left-hand side. That room did stay room 19. That's the only room number that's still the same. That room is probably the only one that also holds the only piece of original furniture even in this building, and it's a beautiful antique bed. It's called the Bishop's bed. The headboard almost touches the ceiling. And when I worked here, that room, or that bed, used to be in what was at that time room 12. They moved it from that room to room 14, which I believe is 15 now. It's the doll room now. And then they moved it out of that room to where it now sits in room 19. And the reason why I'm mentioning them moving this is because people actually think and feel that there is the presence of a woman attached to this bed. Guests would come down in the mornings, and they did it several times when I worked here, and I always thought these people were nuts. But they would say a woman would show up at the foot of the bed, the side of the bed. Some people went as far as to say that she had covered them up. The thing that always threw me is they always said, "Oh, it's not anything threatening." I'm thinking, honey, some woman is standing at the bed, beside my bed, or at the end of the bed, in the middle of the night, and they're not supposed to be there. I would find that a little bit threatening. But they said it wasn't anything threatening. But whenever they would move the bed out of a particular room to another one, all of the stories followed the bed. So that's why people feel that there's this woman attached to this old bed.
We get to go upstairs when she's done talking.
When I was a kid, about how in the 1800s, a woman jilted at the altar had hung herself in this hotel. How many times have you heard a story like that about an old hotel, an old building, a castle? You have these legend stories, Lady in White, Lady in Gray, the Jilted Bride. I had always assumed this was just a legend because I worked, like I said, for many years with the town historian. We went through all kinds of paperwork trying to come up with anything on this. We couldn't find it. So we thought, yes, we just love the stories. Pure dumb luck. Going through a stack of old newspapers one afternoon, we find an article in a 1911 Jefferson paper, and I'm here to tell y'all that it is a true story. It did not happen in the 1800s. The woman's name was Lydia. Her last name was Grigsby. The wedding was to take place here at the Methodist Church. It stated that the fiance had changed his mind and that she had come back to the hotel where her family was staying and that she had a home hotel in her parents' room. Now you gotta remember, early 1900s, you stood at the altar, that's kind of a slap in the whole family's face. Things were a lot different back then. And I guess she was just very distraught. Now, we're actually trying to do more research into this story because I don't know if it's just a coincidence or if there's some kind of connection. But do you know this hotel at one time in the late 1800s was actually called the Grigsby House Hotel? So I don't know if it's just a coincidence or if maybe they were somehow related to the family that used to own it, and that's why, I don't know, because the Schluter family would have owned it in 1911. So we're trying to do a little more research on that. I can tell you that there are certain rooms, like room 19, that seem to have the stories. I don't know what number it is now. It used to be room 5, so maybe it's room 6 now. It's the room that has all of the mirrors. This is a room that has ghost stories, and it has 150 antique mirrors all over the wall. Isn't that supposed to be a bad combination? I always thought that's not a thing to do. But there is a beautiful, beautiful mirror up there, y'all. It is over 200 years old, and they said there's only supposed to be, I think, 5 is what they said, like this one actually left in existence. But it has diamond dust in the glass. It's a very ornate gold, very gilt. It's like 6 feet across, 6 feet tall, maybe 7 feet. It's huge. And I gotta share this. It's too much to share. That room, I will tell you this, is a room that we used to always have stories on. I vividly remember that thing just talking. I vividly remember having a group of ladies staying one night, and there was 3 women in this room. And 2 of the ladies were getting ready to go to dinner, and the other woman was just walking around taking pictures of stuff. And she snapped a picture of these 2 women doing their hair and their makeup in the bathroom. In the mirror between the woman and the other lady there, right in the middle there's a man's face with a handlebar mustache and a bald head looking back at them in the mirror. So we do get weird stories in that room. Now, I always tell everybody, which I'm going to tell y'all now, when I let y'all cut loose to walk through the hotel, I always tell everyone, if the doors are open, they normally will have like a red rope across it because people really do stay in these rooms. And so I don't want people going in and missing anything up. And I usually say if the owners take you in, that's fine. So I was standing down in the lobby one night waiting for everybody to come back down, and I was actually talking to the owners, okay? These 2 women came up to me and they were showing me a video and these pictures they had taken in the mirror room, this beautiful antique mirror.
We're
And I said,
in
"Y'all
Jefferson,
I
Texas.
said, well, yeah. I said, who took y'all in? And they said, well, that band. And I'm looking right at Jeremy and Pam. I said, that band? I said, what band? And they started describing this little short guy with kind of gray hair. As soon as they started describing him, I knew immediately it was the owner's dad that was here. And I kind of looked at the logo. I said, you saw him? And I had him believing he was a dead bellhop, but it was him. But please do not go in the rooms unless someone that, is staying in the room or someone that works for takes you in, okay? One more thing I wanted to tell, and then I'm going to let y'all wander around and look.
Ooh, we get to go
People do
wander
talk
around in a few
about
minutes.
I can listen to this. People have always talked about seeing and hearing children when there are no children here to see or hear. And I came in one morning when I was still managing the hotel, about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Children.
Grumpy little old man went in the front desk for me.
There's the children.
He said, you're gonna have to do something. He said, somebody's bratty kids kept this up all night long. And I'm like, I am so sorry, why didn't you call me? And he said, well, we knew you were coming in from elsewhere, we didn't want to bother you. He said, but we're staying.
Yes, I'm talking to you. We get to explore in a few minutes.
First it was, kids stopped using the room in the halls. He said it kind of quieted down after about 10. And then he said after midnight, they started rattling our door handle. He said we knew they were trying to get our attention, so we ignored them. He said my wife had finally had enough, and he said I jumped up, jerked the door open. He said little boy and little girl running down the hall, and he said they kind of turned off to the right and go into one of the rooms. So he got dressed. He was going to go down there and confront the parents. Well, he said when he starts walking down the hallway, he said every single room in this hallway are all closed. So he wasn't real sure which room they had gone in. He said I went to the bathroom beating on their door at 3 o'clock. So he went back to his room and he said, I decided I was going to let you handle it. And I said, well, I'm really sorry, and I really wish you would have called me. And I came around the front desk, and at that time, we did not actually do reservations on the computer. We used this ancient ledger book, like that big, like this big. And I flopped that big old book open and looked down. Y'all, this man and his wife were the only two people in this whole hotel all night long. Like I said, it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. There was absolutely nobody here. And I had to look him in the eye and tell him, sir, I have no clue who you saw her because there was nobody here but you. And people always want to know, they always ask me, what do the kids look like? And I turned it on and I said, well, if they claim to have seen something, I'll ask them, well, what did you see? What were they doing? What were they wearing? What did they look like? Because I want to see if people are seeing the same stuff or if people are just making these stories up. So I don't usually disclose what the kids look like when people ask me. But I've started giving a little info now on one thing because the owner, the very first time they stayed here, he said he had put his suitcase down in front of the dresser, and that actually was a room at one time that was a regular room. Now it's like the victim room, I think. But he said he put his suitcase down in front of the dresser, and when he raised up, in the reflection of the mirror behind him, he sees a little boy standing on the other side of the bed. Of course, when he turns around to look, there's absolutely nobody there. But he described a little boy wearing suspenders, had a little Peter Pan collar. He said curly, bright red hair, maybe 8 or 9 years old. And that definitely is the description that I get from people when they think that they've seen the kids that are here. So for y'all staying tonight, if you see the kids tonight, know what they're doing. All right, I'm going to give y'all a chance real quick to kind of walk through. Now, if you go out this door, that'll take you into the lobby, to the staircase, and the downstairs hallway. Or if y'all want to go ahead and go through here so you can see this next room too, that'll take you into the downstairs hallway. But go ahead and walk down the hall and back, and then, come into the lobby and go upstairs. There's a lot to see in this place. I told you I was like a museum. But I'm going to give y'all about 10 minutes to get a chance to kind of walk through and look real quick, and then we're going to head out. So either way you want to go to get through there, and I'll meet y'all in the lobby.
All right, I'm gonna go down this way real quick and meet you in the lobby. All right, let's go. Let's see what's down this way. Ah! Whoa! I heard something. Spooky. What the heck? That dude scared me. Check it out. It's like, I thought that was a real person. Alright, we get to come in here and see what kind of stuff's in here. Woo! Yeah, I came in here and gonna meet Ida in the lobby. The lobby. Ooh, look at the ceiling. What the heck? Hi, Full Push Metals. Yep, me and Ida's on a ghost tour right now.
Hey, Allie, where are you?
So, jukebox.
Allie?
Check it out. Check it out.
They must have not.
Yeah, I was being quiet when the lady was talking, cause it's rude to interrupt. So I didn't get to say hi to you guys. JJ, Capital Currency, Sorcerer Stan. What the heck is this? Some old cappuccino machine? Oh, there's an angel. There's some weird dude. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Look. Woo. I don't know if I'm supposed to go this way. Don't fall asleep. Check this out. Creepy. Ah, 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 ah. Hi, Miss Ida. Ah! Hey, are you pointing at me? There's a finger right here. It's pointing at me, saying "Go this way."
Oh, we're closing traffic.
You creepy clown dude. Hi, Kraken. Hi against the army. We're gonna get left behind. Check out this dude. Fishy, fishy.
Wait, where does it go? Wait, it said it went. Where does it go? It comes over here.
What the heck? Are you taking pictures?
I'm gonna take a picture because I can't get
Try it
it.
again, and I'll call them if it comes down.
If you lose signal, don't panic. It's just the spirits. Bath, man. You can get a hot bath. What the heck is this?
I'm not sure what it is.
$3, right? For a cup?
Oh, that's a soda machine. I was like, what was that? They have a soda machine in here.
Sorry,
I got
thank you.
$3. I'm still gonna get $3.
Well, I want to make sure you're coming
If it-
back
Can't
out.
see that. Hey, it's the little of horror. Feed me, Seymour, feed me.
Y'all are staying. You're staying though. You can tell them it took you. Okay.
Oh my God, there's a creepy head.
Well, I got mine. You didn't get yours. You're
Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That's pretty gross.
$3.50.
Oh, but it did.
Did the signal go out? Do you guys still, are we still here? I don't know.
Oh, that's y'all's room?
Am I gone? Did I lose you guys? I'm back. Welcome back. I was gonna say, did I lose you?
I'm so sorry.
What do we do? Go all the way to the end? I guess we better get our groove on. We're going to the dungeon. Welcome to the dungeon. High five. High five. Ooh, look. There's something spooky down there. Spooky. The picture's poor. Oh, we're blurry. I better get back to the front then.
Nope. I'm on my door off.
So you're
Hold
too.
on. Over on.
You too.
They said I'm getting blurry. Probably because it's like we're going into a...
Yeah. She said
Am I blurry still? Or was I just blurry because I was going too fast?
maybe. Got behind it.
Spooky.
Oh, this is so good.
Sorry.
It's like a
I just went in my room and like,
Is it better? I was probably just going too fast. I'll go really slow. I'll go really slow. They want us to go upstairs next. Hey, look at that thing up there.
yeah.
Amy said better. JJ said no good.
Upstairs.
You're not going upstairs?
Look at this made with beer cans.
Oh yeah. It's a beer or it's a Dr. Pepper truck.
Whoa, Harry Potter.
Sorry.
Mustang Dave said, I'm glad Ida's there to keep you in line. Upstairs. Let Ida sit on the bench downstairs. Ooh.
I can't take her anymore, sorry.
Check out that guy. Check out that guy. There's some old time baby. And you want a soda?
Nah. Don't worry.
Duck, duck, goose. Duck, duck, goose. Oh, look, there's a birdie. Little birdie. That's some creepy looking thing. Check it out. Check it out. There's a creepy guy. Oh, he's following
Okay,
me.
hold on, traffic again. Get out of the way.
All right, I'm up. I gotta keep moving. I gotta keep moving. Oh, are we? We're gonna go upstairs.
Go ahead.
Do they say we can go upstairs? Look at all the crucifixes on the wall. All right, I gotta hold on. I don't want to fall down the stairs. Look at all the crucifixes to keep away the demons. See the crucifixes? The one left behind the group is always the first to die. Now there's people up here. I just left Ida down because she doesn't want to climb up these stairs. Oh, look at that. Stained glass. Plus it's way cooler in here. It's like 90 something. It's 90 something outside. We're on the ghost tour. This is one of the first stops. Jesus. Oh, creepy.
Hello.
Ew. It's the creepy doll room. Oh my God, look at that. Ah! Check out all the creepy dolls. Start screaming and run back downstairs. Yeah, then everybody will. Yeah, there's no way in hell I would stay in this room. Oh my God, look. Oh my God. Look, there's dolls like on the ceiling. They're like stuck to the ceiling. Oh my God. And then when you first walk in, there's this one like peeking around the door. Come play with me forever and ever and ever.
Hey all.
Here we go.
This is the room I thought was found.
There's a creepy clown. Looks like Heath's office. There's some creepy hanging stuff. 1945 flood. There's the real spooky place. It's blocked off. You can't go up there. But you would have liked to decorate the doll room. Ew, what's this? This doll's locked up, man. It must be scary. Hi, Gina R.
John Porter. Look, it's John Porter.
We're on the spook tour. Here's one of the bedrooms. Yeah, no way I'd sleep in a room with all those mirrors either. Oh, we gotta go. Ah! She's like, you guys are too slow. We got to go back down. Yeah, that doll room's creepy. All right, I gotta hold on. I don't want to fall down. Fall down the stairs. Oh, there's a creepy one made out of straw.
Oh, I know. I thought, is this to ward off the ghost?
Yeah, all the crucifixes to save us from the ghosts. There's a little baby. Oh crap! The last, it says watch your step, and yeah, I didn't watch my step.
Let me tell y'all what happened last summer. I was wearing flip-flops like I am right now. Over in front of the
Where's Miss Ida?
Those bricks in the road just popped up. Woo, this girl hit that thing. I flew down like a ton of bricks. I thought I was dead. People on the
I lost Ida.
But I was wearing this stupid watch, you know, they're smart
I lost my
watches. You think they would go, you're fixing to fall, stupid. You lost your friend? But instead,
Yeah.
it waits till I stand up and it goes, whoop, it's just you take it a hard fall. And I'm like, "Everyone gets it."
I might have to call Ida. I left her. I lost her. Unless she went outside already. Huh?
Which chair did the guy die in the lobby? There's a guy that died.
Did you see my lady friend? Ida?
No. I think she showed up. Yeah, she must have gone out.
Oh, she's out here. She's
Oh my God, Ida! I thought the ghost took you. I was like, "Where's my lady friend? I lost my lady friend."
Oh my goodness. Y'all, I can't take her anywhere. Sorry.
Man, my glasses are fogged up. I can't even
I know,
see.
I know. It's hard.
Can't even see now. It was nice in there. Mustang said, Ida said, "I'm out of there." I thought you'd like sit down on a little couch thingy or something.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Ida?
Yes.
Ida's friend, the only one
Ma'am?
would y'all like to hop up here and ride?
Yeah, I'm sure Ida would. I'm good, but
You're not gonna get right?
huh?
There's the ride with me.
We found somebody nice that's gonna let us go for a ride. You get up there?
Yes. Come on.
All right, fine.
Thank you. Guys are awesome.
I almost fell off the. There's a step in there that says "Watch your step," and I almost went flying.
I figured they would let you since you all ate at Hayward just like we did.
Welcome to the microwave. Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
So hot. Now we're gonna go somewhere else.
All right, y'all, we're gonna head down to the side of the Excelsior Hotel next. So I know it's gonna get a little warm again, but when we leave there, we're gonna head over to the Haywood House. We're gonna go in for
Woohoo!
so y'all follow me.
We get to get hot and then cold.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm sweating bullets. Yeah, there's this nice couple that you can rent you can rent a golf cart for the day. Yep, we're being chauffeured. Hey, there's Miss Ida. Woohoo! Here we go. Hold on, lady. There, that's cute.
We're in a golf cart. Someone took pity on us.
My arm's not long enough to get us off. Woohoo! We beat everybody.
All right. Perfect.
Hmm.
Stay here. We didn't have to get out.
We hitched a ride. We hitched a ride.
So let us hitch a ride.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk here in the front tonight instead of going down to the side. That way everybody's able to hear and they don't have to get off the golf cart like that. Now, is there anybody on the tour tonight that's staying at the Excelsior?
No, we're not staying there.
It is owned and operated by River Gardens of Ladies.
No ghosts yet, but there's some creepy stuff. Hi, Keith. Hi, honey. You missed the creepy stuff. You'll have to go back and watch it.
Well, I've not worked in the room here, but I did work here back in the 1980s, and I had to spend the night.
Nick came in and saw it. She's like, "Oh wow," or he's like, "Oh wow."
You're good?
Oh, Nick.
Okay.
Man, your glasses are fogged.
I know they're all fun.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Historic hotel, but it does have no stories.
the oldest hotel in Texas. It's been in continuous operation since it was built. The second oldest would be the Major in San Antonio. And like I said, it is owned and operated now by River Garden Club Ladies, but it was built by Captain Perry. He was the man responsible for bringing the first steamboat to Jefferson. He built it with his wife.
I'm gonna get down so I can like look at the stuff. Axel Hotel.
The main one they talk about here is room 215. Room 215 is in historically upstairs on that end. They call this section here the historic wing. When you walk in the front door of the brick section, that was north and south. They call it
He's like, I'm good, no need for me to see it.
the wing was added on a portion of it in the 1860s. Another portion was added on in 1872. So technically it's not new either.
And it's starting to get dark. We might see some ghosts soon.
But the J. Gould room, room 215, is named after the railroad type. It was a pretty popular in history here.
I don't know if you guys can hear the lady talking or not. Let's check this house out.
But they did not want to pay for anything. They wanted us to pay for it. So he got pretty upset with the city of Jefferson.
Have a good night, Nana.
The guest register where he signed in. He wrote in Jefferson, Texas. He said the grass would grow in the streets and bats would lose the celebrate. Couldn't be six on the first weekend. There's always been a lot of hype about Jay Gould.
Never know what's what.
And now sits directly across the street from Jefferson and South. So you can hardly see the Industrial Hotel. So you can actually take the room right now. But this room is popular because people claim that the rocking chair rocks by itself. They say at night that you can come over and sit down on the side of the bed, kind of gives way. Probably the most popular story at the hotel is the Steven Spielberg story. Way back in the early 1970s, long before it was well known like it is today, he was there on a Monday night with several roasted people and it was cutting out locations for the movie Sugarland Express.
We brought a change of clothes.
Someone was watching him or following him everywhere he went. Finally managed to go to sleep, and then he wakes up in the middle of the night and says there is a kid in the room asking him if he was ready for breakfast. He said, that's it, we're out of here. He had every single one of them been up in the middle of the night. They went to Marshall and got a motel room in Marshall. In fact, if you go online and Google Excelsior Hotel Steven Spielberg, you should pull up 3 different things. There are 6 interviews with him where he's talking about his experience here. There's also an article that was written years ago when he did an interview with Yogi Jagger where he's also talking about his night here. Now, right next to that room, they have what they call the Lady Bird Johnson room. Now, a little bit farther, you have what was always known or was always called the Presidential Suite. Presidential Suite has now been split up into 2 separate rooms. They call it the Hayes Room and the Grant Room, named after both presidents that spent the night. Both of these rooms have stories and activity. The Grant Room has an open room that's about 5 feet tall, I guess. That real hard? People claim to see the reflections of a man in the mirror. And so many people take covered up the sheet and go to bed, leave it covered up and you go home. But they've always talked about the face of the man that would show up in this way in the mirror. The room next to it is probably my favorite. That is the Hayes Room. The Hayes Room has this beautiful antique bed, great big pillow post and canopy on the top of it. And everybody that stays in this room always is telling stories because they get woken up at night because they can hear someone whispering, humming, singing, talking. And when you're finally fully alert yourself, sitting up in the middle of the bed thinking, where is this coming from? And they say, stop. So you think to yourself logically, must have heard somebody in the hallway, must have heard somebody in the next room. You just kind of blow it off when you go back to sleep. Well, there was a guy that used to write for the Dallas Morning News.
We're on a ghost tour.
Because of the history of the hauntings. And he convinced his wife to spend the night. And he said, they got this beautiful Hayes room. He said, I'll be darned if I did not wake up in the middle of the night because he heard this very soft female humming. He said, here I am, waiting on something to happen. He said, it happens, and he said, I'm late with my eyes shut, here to death. He kept telling himself, you're a grown man, open your eyes and just look and see if there's something here. So he said, he finally got the nerve up was looking down towards the foot of the bed, and he described a very petite woman wearing a long, light colored gown. He did describe kind of the high neck Victorian looking garments, that her hair was pulled back up on top of her head. And he said, when you really looked, he said, his wife's sitting over there, into the bed, looking out the window, just humming her heart out in the middle of the night. And he said he hollered down there to her, you know, what's the matter with you? Are you crazy? I mean, I believe you just pulled that on me. You knew I was waiting for something to happen. You just scared me half to death. Then he rolled over in the bed to go back to sleep, and his wife is in the bed, sound asleep right beside him. So whoever he thought he saw standing at the foot of the bed was not his wife.
Uh-oh.
It's pretty comical the number of people that don't want to stay at Jefferson Hotel because it's haunted. So they come over here thinking it's going to be a nice quiet evening, and then they come down in the morning here with these same long stories. Now, I can vouch for having several unexplainable things happen here as well. You know, you always hear stories about people saying, oh, we smell cigar smoke. We smell pipe tobacco. I can tell you I smelled the pipe tobacco. And it wasn't like we had gas stain or someone could have been sitting out here in the front smoking a pipe or something. I was in a room upstairs in the middle of the night, nobody in this hotel but me. I had gotten up to use the restroom, and then when I'm walking across the room, it was like somebody had blown a mouthful of pipe smoke in my face. Very old-fashioned, like a cherry smelling pipe tobacco. My uncle used to smoke a pipe. I used to love the smell of his pipe tobacco. And that's exactly what it smelled like. But this hotel has pretty much always been owned by women. Only 2 men have owned it, Captain Harriet Belton and a man in the 1920s. There was a lady from Germany that owned it in the 1860s. And you know, back then you just didn't really openly see women drinking in public. She used to send one of her servants around the corner to the Rosebuds and let them have a pitcher of beer. And she'd sit out front of the hotel and drink her a pitcher of beer at night. So she was a very quirky hotel owner, I guess. Where she's buried at the old Oakwood Cemetery, beside her grave, you have 2 more. One says our Jessie, and on the other side we have one that says our Lily. And you know, that's really sad. She must have had children that died. But our Jessie and our Lily were her dogs. And one of them was actually buried with a diamond and gold collar. So there's a lot of really interesting history associated with the building too, not just the ghost stories. There on the right, you see that iron that's going out of the ground.
There's Miss Ida. I'm visiting her in Texas.
Also, on the right side, you have another historic marker. That one is actually talking about Captain Perry that built the hotel. He was also the mayor of Jefferson at one time back in the 1860s. But he was shot and killed on his way home from work during Reconstruction by Union soldiers who said they thought he was someone else. He was mistaken identity. Evidently, they had an arrest warrant for another man, and they were calling out this other man's name, Captain Perry. Well, wasn't his name, so he kept walking. But Captain Perry was deaf, and he had no idea that they were actually calling to him, and they shot and killed him. So that is what the majority of what on that pipe is that you're seeing there. Now, I want to scoot y'all down just a little bit. We're going to stop right there, right past that other car so they can pull up beside us. But I want to share something else right there, but I'm hoping when we get over there a little bit, we might get a cross breeze. I don't think we can get any air circulation right there beside the building. So I'll follow me down here just a little farther.
I'm gonna follow them. Ooh, yeah, you can feel the breeze. You can feel the breeze.
I'm going to show a picture real quick. I forgot I had this on my phone. I want y'all to see something. But I also want to share a story that I usually share at the beginning of the tour, and it was so hot tonight I was trying to hurry and get moving, and I didn't tell it. I got to tell it. We talked about the old Oakwood Cemetery where one of the ladies that used to own the hotel was buried. The old Oakwood Cemetery here in Jefferson is a beautiful historic cemetery. There's outlaws buried out there. There's Civil War soldiers buried out there. There is a riverboat captain's wife buried sitting up in her rocking chair. There's all kinds of stories and histories out there. But there are 2 men buried out there. One of them's last name was Rose. The other one's last name was Robertson.
And these two were not very well liked in Jefferson, so they always hung around together. They had nobody else to hang with. They had no family. And the story goes, they were standing out here on the street one night, pretty much arguing about going to drink whiskey. One wanted to go, one did not. And there was also rumors, too, that they were both kind of sweet on the same girl. So Rose is on one side of the street, Roberts is on the other. And they said that Rose pulled out his gun. Excuse me. And when he did, the gun discharged, hitting his friend. So the other guy returned fire. So they shot and killed each other out here in the middle of the street. They had nobody. So the city had to pay to bury them. And where they're buried at the old Oakwood Cemetery, you have 2 iron posts. They're about this big around. You have one here and one beside it. And there's a big chain that kind of connects the two like this together. And that's supposed to signify chained together for eternity. Because these two are actually buried not just side by side in the same plot. They actually have them buried in the same grave, laying one on top of the other.
Holy
So how would you
cow.
like to be laying on top of or under the idiot that shot and killed you? I don't think I'd be sleeping very well.
No, thank
So
you.
people are always asking me and joking who's following us on the Ghost Walk. Well, if anybody's following us, it's probably those two. But I want y'all to see something. I told y'all I have pictures you can see on the Facebook page. But I had this on my phone the other day. I didn't realize it was on there. I'm going to let y'all look real quick. Inside of the hotel is another courtyard. Very pretty New Orleans style courtyard. In fact, I was married back there 43 years ago. It's a beautiful place. When you first get into the courtyard, on the right wall on this side here, close to the front, that's an area where people have always talked about getting unusual pictures. That is also the back of what we call the old Rosebud Saloon. And I have a photograph that was taken one night on a tour. It was a very small group. I think we had like 10, 12 people. The man that actually was the manager years ago always allowed us to go through on the Ghost Walk. We'd go into the ballroom, into the lobby, out to the courtyard, and we'd come back, circle through, and come out. And this was a night where we had no kids. There was absolutely no kids. We had everybody that was on the tour was probably 35 or under, so we had no older people at all. And I was standing there when this guy and this lady were standing there with me, took a photograph over where that wall was. Y'all, somebody showed up in the picture that was not there. And I don't know if it was an old man or a very ugly old lady. I'm sorry if you're listening. But this is the weirdest picture I have ever
Bless
seen.
her heart.
I cannot explain. And they have something in their hand. And when you blow it up and look at it, to me it looks like an old beer stein. I have no clue how to explain this, but I want y'all to get a gander at it so you can see that we actually get these really crazy pictures. Let me pull it up real fast. And then while I'm trying to find the picture, I'm going to talk, because when we get over to the Haywood house, I told y'all we're going to go up the outside staircase. We're going to come down the inside staircase when we leave, but there's a few people that already know it's over there. Around on the opposite corner, there's a lift that will actually take you up, so you do not have to go the stairs if you have trouble with stairs.
I bet.
All right, favorites, here we go. I should have already been looking this up while I was
We're
talking.
waiting for the picture.
My gosh, what am I doing? It's a new phone, y'all. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right, here we go. It's got to be right down here. And like I said, I don't know if it's a very ugly old lady or if it's just an old man. I'm getting there. There he is. Y'all ready? I'm going to blow this up so you can see what I'm talking about. What the heck is that?
Oh, wow.
It
Looks like a bear stein, yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Look how the hair is curled around though. Some people
Whoop.
think
Huh?
You get a picture?
Well, I didn't get a picture
I'll come right over
because it's live. At like 44 minutes.
Going to the Haywood.
How long ago was that taken?
This was taking a long time. This is
Getting ready.
Want to get in, they're going to Haywood.
It looks like a beer stein, does it not?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That looks like, oh man.
Holy cow.
Isn't that
Nothing,
weird looking?
nothing scary, just creepy so far. Saw the creepy doll room, a creepy mirror room, and a whole bunch of creepy stuff.
You're kind of scared when you can find me.
Yeah, Ida and I had a glass of wine earlier at the when we went out to eat. Man, the wine I got was super strong. Hi, Bits.
Because I think it's a neat story. That house used to sit behind the museum where the post office is now. And it was built for two twin sisters, Flossie and Gussie. Isn't that cute?
Flossie and Gussie.
The house was identical to the left side of the house.
Oh, wow.
But the museum over here, don't forget, you can't go in until
That's what we need to go. Elaine said there's a elevator.
We'll get to explore here pretty soon again and get cooled off. Here we go. Yep, she said Flossie and Gussie. Yeah, we're getting chauffeured. Cause Ada doesn't want to be walking a lot.
There's a lot of walking on a cane right here.
Yeah. Ah! Hold on, Ada.
At least this is like a golf cart we used to have.
Woo, the breeze feels good.
Right upstairs.
All right, that's where we're going. We're going here.
We're going to the lift.
Oh,
We have to do stairs.
this is where we ate and had wine earlier at this place.
Yeah, they had an entertainment.
Yeah, isn't this the place we ate earlier?
Yeah.
Hi, Papa Smurf. Hang on tight. Ooh. See anything in the trees?
Good job.
Rah! You always get grown when you go.
Yeah, we got it.
So we're gonna go in a lift. Ooh, we're gonna go in a creepy lift.
I'm assuming it was kind of like just with her and I in there, it was bouncing.
Oh no.
I'll let y'all go up first and then we'll come up.
Oh, you afraid it might break down if all of us get in?
I don't want a weight limit issue, so.
Uh-oh. Can you even see in here?
Not really, but I'll get y'all up.
Oh my god. How do I get
When you
like
to
a
the
light?
top, you'll go out to that side.
I need
That you're
light.
leaning up again.
Okay.
So what do we do?
Yeah, there's this door right here will open up.
This oh, so I don't want to lean against that door.
We don't have to do anything.
I'll get you up there.
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna make it right go up. Ah. This is like a literal lift, man. And he said this door is gonna open, so we don't want to. Now this is a little bit
Don't be scared.
claustrophobic, man. It's shaking. I don't want. Yeah, don't blind Ida. Here we go. We're going. Oh, I gotta turn this off. Turn that off. I had to have the light on, so otherwise we would be in the pitch dark. Woo! Does it open? How do you open it? Oh. Yeah, this is what we were just in. This weird lift thing.
Okay.
There's people inside. Ooh, that's kind of creepy looking down there, man.
Okay.
Is it shut all the way? Does it not want to go down?
I'll just hold it.
Hold it. I'm feeling kind of weird up here. Look at this. Yeah. It's because there's a lot of stairs. So for people that can't make the stairs. Yeah, that's a creepy lift. Did it go down?
Yeah, it's going.
Man, it's really slow.
Kind of holding it.
That thing is really slow. That was pretty scary. But when you look over the edge, it makes me feel off balance.
Scariest part so far.
Yeah, Ida has to hold the door closed, otherwise the lift won't work. So we're being nice enough and holding so these people can. Man, that thing is slow. You should try VR. What's VR? Man, that thing takes a long. It seemed like we came up faster than that. Oh, virtual reality. Oh, makes you feel like you're falling over. Well, I mean, the first time I ever played like Nintendo 64, I got motion sickness. Look, there's some creepy. Tell me if you see anything creepy in the woods. It looks like there's something out there. Creepy.
Are y'all good?
Well, I think everybody else used the stairs. I think everybody else used the stairs. No, we're in Jefferson, Texas right now. Jefferson, Texas. It's like a ghost town. I think it goes up faster than it goes down. Huh? I'm holding on to these weird chairs. Yeah, we could have came up here earlier. They told us we could have came up here earlier because we actually ate at this restaurant. There's a lounge in there. Ida and I had a glass of wine, but man, the glass of wine I ordered, man, that sucker was strong. It was super strong. It like burnt my throat when I took a drink. So Ida ordered me a wussy wine, and I traded her. She drank the strong wine. Yeah, see, look at these stairs. That's just the first set of stairs. And then you got to curve around.
Where we going? Around here?
I think so. I don't know. Are we in the right place?
I think we go in.
Oh, we go in? Okay.
Yeah.
We're lost. We're lost from our group. Yeah, it was a dry wine, mud swat, and I don't really drink wine. So yeah, it was hard to choke down.
You're supposed to stay with me at all times.
I didn't know there was like a difference between like, woo, it feels good in here. Feels nice in here.
Where's the rest of the people?
They go through that door right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Just go through that door down the hall on your left.
On the left? Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah, it feels nice. Feels nice.
So to the left.
Well, y'all already had dinner?
No, just cooling off.
Yeah, it feels nice. Feels nice.
Just checking.
There's a chair here, there's a chair here, two there,
Feels nice.
and if you want to grab one right there, you can set up for those.
Hmm?
All right. Think we got everybody back together. Y'all ready? Let me tell you a little bit about this building. We are in, what, about the lift? That wasn't no fun? Was it scary?
No, that lift is scary.
Just think, there was probably somebody riding up in it, but you couldn't even see. She won't go back down it now, will she? All right.
Yeah, that lift was the scariest
All
part.
right, we are in what is known as the old Haywood House. Haywood
Good
House
job,
was
Muds.
originally
I'm proud of
a
you.
4-story hotel. So there's only like a fourth of the building left now than what was originally here. And it was completed in 1865 by a Confederate general named H.B. Mabry. And he ran it with his wife and his brother-in-law, and they called it the Haywood House Hotel, after his wife's family. Someone in that family actually owned it and or lived in it all the way up until 1962, when a man by the name of Clarence Braden died. And when Clarence Braden died, it started a massive treasure hunt. He had put money everywhere. There was money in shoe boxes, cigar boxes, wicker baskets, butter charms. They found silver dollars rolled up in the walls of the building. In his suitcase, under his hospital bed where he died, they found over $10,000 in silver dollars in his suitcase. So I always tell everybody, old history, new history. There is a tunnel underneath the building that was actually closed up sometime back in the 1980s. A lot of wild stories, but it was probably more than likely used to transport goods up and down the river during Prohibition. The old well, the old cistern, you can actually still see down into it. They have a table downstairs. It's kind of its own private little alcove. There's a glass top on it, so when you sit at that table, you can actually look down into the water of the old well, and they have like stuff plugged right in there, lights and stuff where you can see it, so it's kind of cool. But after Clarence Braden died in 1962, the building just sat here. And this was the building your parents told you to stay out of. You're going to fall in there and kill yourself. I mean, it was a creepy old building. The original staircase was when you walked in the front door downstairs, it was right in front of you. And it had one of those old chair lifts on it, like you'd see at the turn of the century. Like if you had someone in the home that was an invalid, they would take you up and down the stairs. I mean, it was just a creepy old place. And it was that way until a family bought it back in the 1980s. They put an after-dinner theater in upstairs, an antique store downstairs. Then it was vacant again. Then it was the Texas History Museum, a lot of old banknotes and maps and stuff. Vacant again. Then somebody lived in it as a private residence for many, many years. And then Teresa and Alan bought it in the last 4 years or so and turned it into the restaurant. Now, they are originally from Jefferson too, so they already knew the history and all the ghost stories and stuff. She is like me. We've been best friends forever, so we talk about stuff about the activity. He doesn't want to hear about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. He got somebody else might bring me a drink in here. He's the one that's going to find the logical. Really, you know, if she tries to tell him what happened or she saw or heard something, you don't want to know about it. Don't even tell him. So I got some funny stories on him in a minute. But back to the history. Like I said, old history, new history. Some of the old history would be that in 1869, a Union officer by the name of Lieutenant Colby was actually staying in the hotel, and he'd been drinking, they said, heavily for days because he'd lost a lot of money and several gambling debts. And he ended up walking out of a second-story window where he fell to his death. And of course, people don't know if he did it on purpose, if it was an accident. But on the mantle of the fireplace in his room, they found papers where he had been writing things down about the downfall of drinking and gambling and what it was going to cost you, kind of thing. So that's one of the old stories. In 1912, Clarence Braden had a sister named Beulah. And in 1912, she was swimming with a bunch of people from the school where she taught. She was 22 years old. And her and a professor right behind the building here drowned in the river, swimming in the river behind the building. So I always try to kind of touch base, you know. I've done a lot of research on stuff, and to me it really does seem like places that have the stories, the ghost stories or activity, are always places where there's been some type of tragic event that's taken place. And there's a lot of stories associated with this building. Now, to give you just kind of a little run over of some of the things that they talk about here, I can tell you that back in the 1980s, when the After Dinner Theater was up here, I was involved with several of the plays that they did. I was in one of them. And we would be up here rehearsing at night. That wall used to not be here. The stage actually was right here where I'm sitting. And we would be up here rehearsing. The lights would start going off and on. Music would start going off and on. It was wild. And we'd say, all right, we're going home and come back, it's another day, and we would leave. We would actually get up and just go home. But when they first bought the building a few years ago, she would come down here, you know, by herself, trying to pick different things out. And she would tell Alan that while she was here alone, she would hear somebody calling her name. Or there were times when she said she would hear music. She said sometimes it would sound like old time, like orchestra type music. And she said other times it sounded more like music box type music. And he would always find reasons for everything. You know, well, maybe somebody came in downstairs and hollered up Cory and didn't answer them, so they thought you weren't here and they left. You know, you probably heard somebody sitting outside, listening to the radio, you know, everything, always an excuse. And she would tell him, you don't understand. She finally said, I just quit telling him anything. So I was down here one day drinking coffee with her. We were not in this room, but I'm gonna gauge where we were at so you kind of get a feel. Say we were sitting right here drinking our coffee. Over this direction, which would be, it felt like somebody maybe 6 to 8 feet away, close enough you could hear him clearly. I heard a man's voice call her name, not mine, but as clear as day, I heard a man's voice go, Teresa, just like that. And I turned around and looked at her. She was looking at me. Our eyes were about that big around. She said, you heard it too? I said, yes, I did. We were going to drink this coffee. So I'm out of here. And a funny story that I always share that they talk about, or she talks about anyway, is they were hanging up pictures. And evidently he's up on the ladder and she's handing him hammers and nails and the level and everything. And she said just all of a sudden she starts hearing this music, just softly music playing. She said, I knew better to even say anything to him. So she just kept talking to him again and stuff. And they scooted the ladder over a little bit. And he was hanging up the next picture and she said, I couldn't stand it. She said, I finally said something. She said, please tell me you hear that. He said, well, of course I hear it. You think I'm deaf? He just wasn't going to admit to her that he was actually hearing it. Now, in this day and age, when y'all take photographs with your cell phone or a digital camera, you know there's times where you get these little blue dots that show up in the picture. Especially in a room like this, you're going to get reflections, flare, different stuff like that. So people are always wanting to think they've got something ghostly in their picture because they got a blue dot on it. You know, and I'm like, I'll listen politely, but that's all I'm thinking. Okay, I was wrong because I'm only thinking they're seeing the little blue dots like I'm talking about. But people would talk about seeing this blue glowing ball of light, and it wasn't one of these little dots. It's always described as being about that big around, this blue light. And we've had people say they see it, you know, with their naked eye on the balcony, where they would see it, you know, on the stairs, they would see it on the wall, just different places. So it wasn't like you were only seeing it in places where you could find a logical reason for it. And one night, I was doing a private tour for a family reunion, or what it was, maybe it was a Sunday school class, but it was all elderly couples, and there's a reason why I'm specifying their ages. No kids. I bet you there was nobody under 80 years old. It was all older couples. And it's like 13, 14 people. And it was back when this building was vacant. And we were walking around with lanterns, okay? It was winter, November, I think. It was kind of chilly outside. So we had these really cool old-time lanterns we like to carry. But you don't want to carry them in the summer because they're really hot and really heavy. So we had come through and we were walking down this hallway. We'd come in here and talked and we went out. We went out that way to go out that room where the cigar lounge is. And the minute we stepped out the door, this group of little ladies started going, oh, look, do y'all see that? What is that? And there was one man, this one little old man, I bet he recorded every story I told him that tour that night. He was videotaping everything. So we get outside, I come up behind it, and I'm looking, and just over the railing and up maybe 2 feet or so, and I know it sounds corny, but that's the way to describe it, it's like a blue glowing ball of light. I thought, what in the world is that? So I start whipping my lantern around, I'm thinking it's a reflection of something. You know, we don't have some kid on the tour, so it can't be some wiseacre kid with a laser light or something. I have no idea what it is. But we sit there and we watch this for probably 5 minutes. It moves up and down and over and stops and moves. All of a sudden, y'all, this thing takes off, and I'm thinking swamp gas, you know, there's such a thing as ball lightning, because that's exactly what this thing did. It was like, it shot down the stairs, and it just disappeared, it was gone. So he starts rewinding this tape and watching it. And I'm thinking, there's nothing there. See, I told y'all there was nothing. Nothing showed up on the video, but you can hear every single one of us talking about what the light's doing. You can hear us watching it. But we see nothing. And I'm already thinking, see, it was just a reflection on something because there's nothing showing up on film. Right before he turns the video camera on, you barely hear a child's voice, not talking, but kind of sing-songing. You know, the old kids' nursery rhyme, 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4. You hear him repeating this. And then it just stops. And you hear us talking over the voice. We heard absolutely nothing. But it was picked up on the audio of that. So it's not what you were seeing, it's what you were hearing. And I was there. I have no logical explanation for it. There were no kids anywhere. And no kids on the tour. I haven't quite figured out how to describe that one yet, but it definitely happened. People do talk about seeing a woman on the balcony and on the staircase. They also talk about seeing a very tall, kind of a distinguished looking man in a suit. People always want to think that's Clarence Braden. He was kind of a quirky character, y'all. Everybody kind of always made him out to be this hermit miser kind of guy, especially when they started finding all this money. They said he'd go to the coffee shop, he'd buy coffee for everybody, he'd give him a $20 bill, he'd always want to change in return. High school football team, you won the football game, you all got a silver dollar. He went on a trip to Europe in the early 1900s and bought all this extravagant perfume and boxed candies and stuff for people. He never even gave it to them. When they came in after he died and started finding all this money, they found candy that had deteriorated, so had name tags on it of who was going to give it to. I mean, he was just a really quirky guy, and he actually was a math professor at SMU. But they said that he would, during the Great Depression, if he found out a family was hungry, he'd have the grocer send him a basket of food. He put 3 kids through college during that same time period that normally would not have able to afford to go to college. So he was a very kind man, but he was also a very quirky character, as they say. So old history, new history. I always say, kind of like I talk about at the Jefferson Hotel, this is a location where the ghost stories seem to go way back into the 1800s. So it's not something new. It's just kind of popped up in the popularity of ghost stories. And scale of 1 to 10, I definitely give this one a 10. Now I'm going to do something that I normally don't do here because it's already 9:30. When we leave here, I'm going to go ahead and trek us back down because we're going to go down to where the old Myers building is. When we get down there, I'm going to talk to y'all outside, and there's a few people that probably won't be able to make those stairs because it goes up to the 3rd floor. So I'm going to talk downstairs so everybody can hear, and then I'm going to take y'all up. But after we leave here, I normally talk about Diamond Bessie. So I'm going to tell you real quick the Diamond Bessie story so you can hear it in the air conditioning too. That's even better, right? All right. Diamond Bessie was a woman that was murdered here in January of 1877. Her name was actually Bessie Moore. They nicknamed her Diamond Bessie because of all the jewelry she wore. She was actually from New York. She was here with a man named Abe Rothschild. He was related to the Rothschilds of European Beckham. His family owned jewelry stores in Cincinnati, and evidently he was kind of the black sheep of the family, and he had met her in New Orleans. They went from New Orleans to Hot Springs, Arkansas, to Jefferson in January of 1877. And they stayed at a place here called the Brooks House. For 3 days, they were stuck at the boarding house because the weather was horrendous. So other guests would later talk about hearing them arguing, how you could sometimes hear her crying and sobbing. But the weather let up, they went down the street to a restaurant, and they got a picnic lunch. And the last time anyone saw them together or her alive, they were walking over the river bridge to go on a picnic. In the middle of January, by the way. And they said that he came back later that day by himself, and he told everybody there that he'd gone to visit family. They were going to meet up together the next day. He leaves town. 10 days later, a little girl gathering firewood down by the river finds Diamond Bessie's body covered in a fresh layer of snow. She has a bullet hole through her temple. All her picnic things are still on the ground beside her. So the authorities go to Cincinnati to bring him back to Jefferson to stand trial. When they get there, he's very ill because he tried to kill himself. And all he managed to do was to shoot his eye out. So he always wore a patch over his eye after that, but they ended up having to leave him. They went back several months later, brought him to Jefferson, and he was actually convicted to hang. Now, there was always rumors that the family had paid the jury off. I don't know all the mumbo-jumbo legal stuff, but I know it set a lot of precedents in Texas law because after having been set to hang, they did some type of special appeal. And he ended up being acquitted, y'all. They said his family was waiting out front to haul him home, never to be seen again. So they always have said the jury was paid off or something, but long story short, early 1900s, a man wearing a patch over his eye gave the caretaker of the Oakwood Cemetery here a $100 bill and commented about how kind it was for the people of Jefferson to have buried her because they had to pay to bury her. She had nowhere here. And so they all assumed that this was a Rothschild that came back. So every year in May, when they do the Pilgrimage of Old Homes here, they do the Diamond Bessie murder trial play over at the Jefferson Playhouse based on her murder. They've been doing it for like 78 years now. So if y'all ever get a chance to see it, it is absolutely awesome. The tickets go on sale in January. They always do performances on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday matinee. But the tickets by the end of January are usually gone. So if you ever think you're wanting to do that, you need to call in January to get those tickets. But it's really a neat thing to see. But for those that asked, that was the Diamond Bessie story in the nutshell version. So, anybody have any questions? Okay. We're going to go down the staircase here. Now, y'all that came up in the lift, you go back on the lift. If anybody needs to use the restroom, when we get to the bottom of the stairs and turn right to go to the front door, there's a hallway there to the right where there's a restroom if you need to use it. But if you do, use it quickly, and then we're going to head down the street. All right.
Woohoo!
We're going to go to the old Myers building. It's at the corner of Lafayette and Walnut. I'll probably want to say something right there.
What the heck? We had to go back in the creepy lift.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh no!
This right door?
Yes.
Yeah, the furniture here is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Look at all that woodwork.
Have a good time. Pretty good. Kind of warm and humid though, isn't it? Oh, it is.
Yeah, we ate downstairs in this place, but yeah. It's got chandeliers.
You just give me big hugs when you was little, you tiny babies.
It's got, oh yeah, I'm gonna check this out. Check this out. Check that out.
Sweet darling.
Good luck. I wouldn't know. I was I couldn't keep my concentration.
Ready to go down to the...
Yes. Not really. I'm not really ready, but we get to go in the creepy lift thing again. A couple people were like, man, that lady's bored. There's a lift up here? Oh, cool. We don't have to wait for it. Yeah, this lift is very, very scary. Alright. Oh, shit. What did you do that for? Now, what do? Just push down? We just...
No, you don't do it. You shouldn't have to do anything. It just automatically went down, the door shut.
Because they said that they would do it for us. I think we had to push the down button.
Okay, well, try
Let's
it.
see. Well, I'm gonna have to put the light on because it gets dark.
Yeah.
Do we push? Just go down. Well, let's see. Woo! Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't shine it in Ida's eyes, but I had to turn the light on because it's gonna get really dark and we are not gonna be able to see anything.
Don't stop it.
Well, I didn't want it. What if somebody was in there and we like crushed them?
How can anybody be in there? We could be only...
No, like no, underneath this thing. Beep. I gotta hold this button. Yeah, this is pretty creepy. I'm gonna turn the light off as soon as we get down here, but is that door supposed to open, that glass door? Watch. Once I turn this off.
How does it open?
Spooky. Look, we're trapped in here. Spooky. Spooky.
Okay, so now we gotta send it back up for them. Shut the door. Which one's up?
Which one's up? Up? We gotta push it. Oh, we gotta send it up for them. We gotta send it up. There it goes. Bye bye. Unless they came down. Oh no, she can't go down the stairs either. The lady that's giving us a ride, she can't go down the stairs either because she just had a hip surgery. Will it like stop when it stops? Okay, it's done. Woo!
Are y'all going to the other place?
Yeah, we sent it up there for you. I think I'm gonna get off the live, and then if we get to explore some more, I'll come back on because my arm's getting tired. So I will see you guys soon, or maybe it'll just be a video because yeah, that was just like too much. Too much. I couldn't keep my concentration.
Here, help me get up here.
Oh, I gotta help Ida up. What do you do, like yank you?
No.
How am I supposed to help you? Oh, you want me to push you? Want to push your butt? How do you want me to help?
Don't make me laugh. I just don't want to fall.
Oh, okay, I'll stay back here and catch you then. Here we go, lady.
Okay. Got it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna take off. So
We got a 3-foot
Yeah,
thing
that-
to jump on.
that was a lot. There was a lot to deal with. We love you all, and we'll take some pictures and videos and post them instead of being on, because I've been on here for like an hour and 17 minutes. So, mwah, 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 mwah. If we find ghosts, we'll video record it. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. How do I get out of here? Are you sure?